You catch a hydrant, lay 300 feet of 5-inch. That's it. 300 feet of 5-inch. And the reason we do 300, not 500 or 1,000, is 300 is reasonable for even an inner city in a worst case scenario, like if you had a big building and you're trying to catch a hydrant behind a building or something. So we didn't want it to be extreme. So catch a hydrant in a parking lot, lay 300 feet of 5-inch. Charge the hydrant. Flow your deck gun, a ram, a 2.5, whatever you have to do, flow until you zero out your intake. What is that going to tell us? That's our water supply, right? So for easy purposes, let's just say we lay 300 feet of 5-inch and we're flowing a 2-inch tip on our deck gun at 80 psi, we're getting 1,000 gallons a minute. So our max water supply is 1,000 gallons a minute. Now, on a 300-foot drill, what I want you to do is shut that hydrant down. Shut the hydrant down. Bring in a second engine. Hook that second engine straight to that hydrant. The 5-inch that was hooked to the hydrant going 300 feet down the road to the engine that was pumping the 2-inch deck gun, hook it into the LDH discharge on the second engine. Now what is that hydrant? Where's that water from that hydrant going? Straight to that pumper that's sitting where? Right there on the hydrant. And who used to do that? Every big city fire department in the entire country back in the day. What do most big city fire departments, not all, what do most still do? They put an engine on the hydrant because they know the way to maximize is to have the shortest, largest hose tapped to as many discharges on that plug coming straight into a pumper. So now what can that pumper do? I call it a pumper for a reason. So it can pump the municipal water and push it through the 5-inch hose 300 feet down the street. Because, see, you bought into a bill of goods. You were brainwashed, or you inherited what somebody before you bought into. And that was when we transitioned in the fire service from 2.5, 3-inch hose to 5-inch for supply. And what did the salesperson tell us back in the 80s and 90s? What did they tell us about that 5-inch? You don't even pump it. You lay it down the street, it's like laying a main down the street, Chief. You buy this stuff, boy, it's better than anything Granddaddy ever had. You catch that hydrant, Chief, you just lay it down the street. It's like having that main instead of it being underground, it's up on top of the road. And the drivers, they don't even have to think about it. See, you just eliminate training because they don't have to think about how many sections and friction laws. I mean, friction laws don't even exist in this stuff, Chief. It's like, it's unbelievable. Now, that sounds funny, but that's about what they told the chiefs around this country. And so we went from single and double A's of 2.5 and 3-inch, where somebody wrapped the plug and pumped it, and somebody had to say, well, they're 500 feet down the street, it's a double A of 2.5, and they looked at a little card that was laminated. Remember that? And then they would calculate what they had to pump that hydrant at to overcome the friction loss of a 500-foot lay of double A's of 2.5 or 3-inch. And we basically went from understanding pumping and hydraulics and friction loss to just lay it and leave it, and whatever we get, we get. Did I just tell the truth?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I did. But the reality is, friction loss exists in 5-inch. For easy numbers, for 1,000 gallons a minute, it's 7 pounds per 100. It depends on the brand of hose and all that, but it's 7 pounds per 100 and it's 300 feet. What's 7 times 3 in Lake of the Ozarks? 21 pounds. Can 21 pounds be a big deal? Yeah, it could be a big deal. Now, on top of that, when you're catching a hydrant, you're laying 300 feet of 5-inch, what are you not able to take advantage of if you have more than one discharge in your hydrant? The other ports. When an engine's sitting on a plug, what can they do? They can fully tap all of them, and now they can crank up that pump, they can suck that hydrant out, for lack of a better term, and they can force all the water and pump it down the street. Now, here's what I want to tell you about the 300-foot drill. I've done it all over the country. East Coast, West Coast, South. I've done it down in South rural Colorado, rural Alabama. I mean, I've done it in some very rural areas. I've done it in some urban areas. Not saying it's not possible, but I've never done the 300-foot drill, ever. Never done the 300-foot drill where putting an engine on the hydrant didn't get me at least 500 more gallons a minute. Could that be a big difference at a fire? That's a ram or two 2.5s. Or a 2.5 and almost 3-inch, 2 inches and 3/4. It's a lot of water. I've had it where it's been as much as 1,500 more gallons. Most of the time, it's 700 to 1,000, somewhere around there. But at the lowest I've ever had is 500. And you say, well, how's that possible? Because putting an engine on the hydrant allows me to tap all the discharges. But what most importantly does, it lets me take the pressure that's coming out of the hydrant and keeping it without losing it. Does that make sense? Because the engine now pumps it and overcomes whatever the distance is. So if I've always gotten at least 500 or more at 300 feet, what do you think it is when it's 800 foot 5-inch leg? So what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're going to one of these mansion fires and you're catching a hydrant doing a forward lane, unless it's only 100 feet away, and you truly want on the water, what's got to be at that hydrant?
Pumper.
A pumper. Whether it be a 4-way valve so they can come in later on, you can get initial water, come back and just, increase the pressure, or they wrap it and leave it. Basically, when the first engine stops, they wrap the plug, they lay in the second plug, unwraps it, hooks into the LDH, hooks into the plug, and pumps it. Or, better yet, this is crazy. This is top, man. I mean, I've been telling you some shit. I should have got y'all clearance, but the president's pulling the clearance for some people, so I can't be giving out no clearance. But it's the forgotten supply. It's called a reverse lay. You stop at the fire, you pull the hose off, you drop off all the real firefighters. You let that driver that really doesn't want to do shit drive the fire truck down to the hydrant, hook into the plug, and they can stand by and make sure nobody steals that hydrant, and they just send water back to the scene. It's pretty cool. You laugh, but I rode on many of fire trucks in the back where we went to fires, and we drove past the fire with all of us on it, went down the street, we did a 3-point turn, we all got off with our vests and our little flashlights. We wrapped the hydrant and left somebody at the hydrant, the real firefighter that's like gung-ho. And then we forward laid back to the scene about 7 minutes later when they were running out of water. When we just could have just left everybody at the fire, drove straight to the hydrant and left the engine at the hydrant to pump the hydrant. You've all been there. You just don't want to admit to it. Who in here has been on a fire truck where you drove past the fire to turn around to bring a supply line from the hydrant back to the fire? Come on, it's confession time. Raise your hand. A couple of you are a bunch of liars out there. Right? Think about it. What was the most common supply 40 years ago across the country? Were engines, what were they doing? Yes or no? Were they not pretty much reversing out the plugs and pumping them? And then somewhere along the way, we're like, oh shit, Dad was stupid. He didn't know what he was doing, or Mom was stupid, or whatever, Granddad. And so we said, well, let's just throw that out the door. We're just going to use 5-inch LDH and we'll lay it and leave it. Right? So I tell you that message because there's a lot of stuff we were doing right 30 and 40 years ago. And there's a lot of stuff that new that's coming along that we need to open our mind to. So I'm telling you, the old salty dog's not right and wrong, and the new age science isn't right and wrong. They're both right. We just got to come together and do what's right for the particular fire and be open to all the tools in the toolbox. And when it comes to big fires and big water, we could do a lot better job. We really could. So